videos on urban gardening. A couple of reasons why. Number one, I feel like having my fingers in the soil is therapeutic for me. I was brought up doing urban gardening because my grandmother, aka Grammy Eula Jones, used to teach urban gardening in St. Louis when I was a child. And we had so many community gardens, and at this day and age where we have to learn how to grow our own stuff because we don't know what people might be doing to our food, this would be a good time to start urban gardening. I live in New York, and as you can see, I got a lot of plants here. So let's get into it. If you're on a budget, it's okay. It's okay to be on a budget. You know why? Because you can make a planter out of anything. So this is a old strawberry container, and we're just gonna put some soil in there, and we're gonna we'll put the soil in there, and we'll just throw the seeds in there, and then because it has holes at the bottom, you'll be able to the water will be able to drain. So if you are on a budget, just think in terms of anything that can drain water. So this is an old bleach container, water container, anything with the hole. Let me show you this. Y'all are gonna love this. So this is a glass that I had that ended up getting a hole in the bottom. And so now I'm growing, that's a little small tomato plant. And when it gets a little bit bigger, I will put it in a bigger pot. If you want to do seeds, and it's best to do seeds because you don't want to end up with this catastrophe that I have and this catastrophe that I have. Seeds are good because you can just put one seed in each hole. For this, I put holes in the bottom. I'll put my soil in there, and once I get my soil in there, I'll put my seeds in there, and then I'll let it grow. So right now, presently, these are all red pepper plants. So as you see, it's 3 or 4 plants in one pot. It's gonna have to be transplanted. This is three in one pot. It's gonna have to be transplanted because they're crowding each other. So because they're crowding each other, they're not going to bear. This is 2 in one pot. It needs to be transplanted as well. Over here, this is my avocado plant. So I'm so proud of this because, and I want y'all to see that it's lopsided. The reason why it's lopsided because when you have plants, they always grow toward the sun. So what you have to do, like I have huge windows. So what you have to do is you have to turn them so that they'll be upright. Now this little plant too, it's suffering. So this is the first one we're gonna work with. This is my bamboo plant, and the pot is too small. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna transplant it into this pot. So that's number one. Now, how do you know that your plants are not doing well? You'll know because the leaves might not be as green, which means they're not getting the nutrients that they need. And also, you'll know, like the tips of these are a little yellow. And then I feel the soil. The soil is moist. So by the fact that I know that the soil is moist, I know it doesn't have anything to do with water. It has to do with the pot is too small. So what we're gonna do here, this is gonna be the first thing that I do today, is we're gonna get this out of this little bitty pot and put it in this bigger pot. So let me move some things around so that we can get that done. The potting soil, I think I paid $12 for this. It's like 9 quarts. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of soil in this pot at the bottom. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this out. And let me show you something. Be very gentle with your plants. Be very, very gentle. Very, very gentle. I transplanted a plant, a begonia one time, and I was not as gentle as I should have been. Look at all those roots right there. So that's what's taking in all of the nutrients is roots. So sometimes when plants need to be transplanted, they also, when you take them out, it'll be so many roots at the bottom that I'm making a mess. There'll be so many roots at the bottom, and that means that's called being pot bound. Is just it cannot grow beyond that pot. So I think that's what's going on with this bamboo plant. And I always make the mistake and call it a cane plant. So if I did, then it's just a mistake because it kind of looks like cane to me. Now, I do everything organic. You can have gloves. I like to feel the soil in my hands. That's therapeutic. I actually like to feel soil between my toes as well. So, you can use plant food if you want to. I tell you what I use. I use eggshells and banana peels. And they have a lot of nutrients in them that will feed your plants. I think this is going to need a little bit more soil. Because we want it good and stable. Okay, that's good. Now, you want to make sure you have holes in all the bottom of your pots and then something for them to sit on to catch the excess water. So this is one of the things I use. This is just a little plastic container. Sit that on top of that. Put holes in the bottom, and then it can drain. If you're not going to put holes in the bottom of your pot, then you can line the bottom of your pot with rocks so the water can drain down, and you can water the bottom of your pot. You can line the bottom of your pot with straw. Straw is really, really good. So now we've gotten this one taken care of, and it looks like it's going to be okay. I'm going to water it because it does need some water. I have been saving this little pan of water because anytime I have extra water that I'm going to throw away, I just take it and put it in my plants. Another thing that's good for your plants are banana peels. They have a lot of good nutrients. You can just sit them in there, or you can compost them if you want to. Compost is great. Well, you can just sit them in there just like I did the eggshells, and the nutrients are gonna get in. They're gonna get in the soil, so you don't have to worry about that. So we got this one squared away, and that's done. So I'm gonna set this over to the side, and that is my cane plant. So the next plant we want to work with is gonna be this avocado plant because it looks like it is suffering as well. As you see, it's lopsided. It's lopsided. And I got some other little smaller pots. These are good. These right here, these if you want to use something like this to start as a starter, you can buy those in the store, or these little pots for starters. Those all work very, very well. So I just took an avocado seed and I put it in some soil, and it took a long time, but I was ecstatic when it started growing. And these get way big. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, what's going on with this? It's lopsided, the leaves are kind of down, what's going on? It needs a little bit more soil in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some more soil in here. The soil is kind of moist, so it doesn't need watering. And also, you can always Google what's the best soil, and also, what type of soil. For instance, strawberries, they like a sandy soil. So if you're gonna plant strawberries, then you need to add a little sand to your soil. So some plants, they like full sunlight, some like half the day sunlight, just different things. So we put the little soil in there, And then we're gonna get some water and we're gonna water that. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm big on recycling. This is a old Coke jar where I am. You see the roots coming from that. So what I'm doing is I'm getting it together so that I can put it in soil. So you're supposed to change your water. So I just take my water, I use it to water my plants, and then I put new water in that. But I'm very proud of this because I went somewhere and just grabbed a piece of the plant. The only thing about seeding the plant that you need to know is this. You got to make sure that you have what you call a node right there. That's like where the little line is. It looks like it's broken or disconnected. And then that's where your roots are going to grow. And so these are the roots that are coming from it. And once I get more roots, then I will do more with that. Now, the other plant that I'm very, very proud of, we're going to move this off to the side. And as you see, this has a bottom. So it has a bottom, and so the water can drain. And if you're overwatering, you definitely need to where the water will drain. But just make sure that your soil is moist. It needs to be moist so it can get the nutrients that it needs. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with this. I'm very proud of this. This is a sweet potato. So I'm going to take it out so you'll see what I'm working with. So you can do it one way or the other way. I don't know if y'all can see all those roots on there. So those are roots. So I did two things. So it's actually two plants in here. So one of them is just a piece, because with potatoes you can just get where the eye is, and it'll grow roots. So that's one plant. That's where I just did the eye. Put it in some water, it started rooting. It's actually ready to go into soil now because we got plenty of good roots on there. Okay, and that's where it's gonna get the nutrients. And then this is a full potato that I did. So I did these two, and so now they are big enough, they are healthy enough, they are ready to go into soil. But you're growing potatoes, so you want to make sure that you have them in a big enough pot. And so I'm gonna need something very big for those. So we're not gonna do those today, but when I make another video, we will do that. I just want to show you how you would root a plant and what you need to do there. So the next thing we're going to do is we've got to separate, especially this was the number one. This is the number one because it's not going to bear. It's not going to bear. So you can't see it, but I'm going to try to lift it up so you can see what I'm talking about. So I have this little thing. I'm on my island in my kitchen, and I have this little pad here where I can transplant and don't have to worry about cleaning up the island afterward and getting soil everywhere. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plant here and let's just get it out this pot, because it's not gonna bear. It's not gonna bear because it's crowded. It's too much in one pot. And I'm hoping that you guys can see this. When you see all these roots and stuff like that, that's where it's getting their nutrients. So what you want to do is you want to break these apart. And sometimes, like with the potatoes, the roots were kind of intertwined, so you have to be very, very gentle. Very, very gentle. So this one right here will go into its own pot. This one right here will go into its own pot. And this one right here will go into its own pot. So what I'm gonna do is I have this that I had the other plant in. So we're just going to put it back in here. and then give it a couple of weeks, and it will be bearing red bell peppers, because that's what those are. Now, you want to know, oh, where do I get seeds? Okay? Because we're doing this on a budget. First of all, we got limited space, and we're on a budget. Let's just say we're on a budget. So, a lot of cities have what you call seed libraries. I know Memphis has a seed library, and you can go to the public library and you can get seeds, and then when you get your harvest from the next year, you save your seeds and you donate. So that's good. A lot of cities have that, and so that's a really good thing. Now this one right here, it looks like it's suffering because it was outgrowing the pot, but it's okay. We're gonna fill it full of soil. And since it's leaning over this way, when I put it back in the window, I'm gonna put it in the window with the sun coming this way, and that way it'll start growing that way. So, and a lot of times when you have a plant and it doesn't want to be stable, you can, just like you do a tomato, stick a tomato, you can put like a little stick in here and tie it, and it'll hold it. But anyway, this one is gonna be fine. It just needs to get a little water, and then maybe a little stabilization. Real simple. I would just take like I got straws. I could take something as simple as a straw. If I want to stabilize it, put the straw in here and tie it to the straw. Or I could just wrap it like that, and then that'll stabilize it. So it's stable until it starts back growing straight again. It had been in that pot with the other two plants way too long. So sit that over there. And so I have packets of seeds, but I also have these seeds that I sell, that I save. So I have all kinds of seeds. So if I open up a bell pepper and there are seeds, I save the seeds. I use them. I plant it. All these plants are from seeds that I got from out of the bell pepper plant. So let's do this with this one, because this one doesn't have holes in the bottom of it. So we want to make sure that we put a couple of drain holes in the bottom. Very simple, like that. All right, so we're gonna do our next plant, and these are, again, all these are red bell pepper. So, and it's better to do it one seed, like in this right here. It's better to do one seed, or there's another method you can do, and I'll show you this really quickly. So you can take a paper towel, and you can take a few seeds, put them in the paper towel, wet the paper towel a little bit, put it in a Ziploc bag, in a dark place, and you can see if the seed is viable. Now that's a quick way to know if the seed is viable or not. Instead of just doing like I did, I just threw a bunch of seeds in a pot and said, whatever happens, happens. Of course, you see, I ended up with 3 and 4 plants in one container, which we don't want to do. So what we're gonna do is gonna put the soil in here. And so on my next video, I will give you guys a update on the ones that we did today. You see the leaves are drooping. So this one was not doing good because the leaves are drooping. It was too many plants trying to live in one pot together. So we definitely don't want to do that. and then this would be the last one that I'll do is in the red thing. So like I said, when you do this, put one seed in there and you see what comes up. Then you can take these out and you can transplant them into the pots or the makeshift pots. So that's all that I have for today, and I hope that this was very informative and entertaining. And we're gonna post this on all social medias, and like, comment, ask questions, follow me, subscribe, and I'll see you the next time, and we'll have the update on these plants that we did